Guys, what's going on, guys? So we're going to do a little trade review from this week from the rapid signals, this GU trade, which turned out to be really great. So yeah, we're just going to cover it, and then we're going to jump over to the live chart and kind of dissect it. I'm going to cover the thought process behind taking this trade and obviously how it turned out. So let's just start off with the straight numbers. Right out of the Forex League rapid signals channel, as you can see here, July 29th, 808, GU sell at 1.396. Right where this blue line is at our entry, it's labeled. Okay, so that was the entry. We were catching some wicks here. We spotted some rejection. Price action was in an area where it was going to reverse. We'll get into a little more detail in a second, but let's talk about the stop loss and the TP levels. Okay, so the stop loss was at 1.404 up here, this red zone, and then our final TP was down around 1.366. Now, this was a 3-to-1 risk reward. We did give you another take profit level as we usually do. This is just to remind you that these are areas where you might want to consider taking some profit off, especially if the market is reacting super choppy, or if this trade extended to the end of the week. It's pretty much just a reminder that you should be taking profits by the end of the week, and that we are hitting levels. Right, the trade is progressing and it is in profit, and it's always a good reminder to take profit as it goes. Right, usually I'll skim a trade, I'll reduce a position as we get past 2-to-1. That's just a personal rule of mine. We like to include that in some of these signals here. So this one played out 3-to-1 all the way. Really great trade. We were risking 80, and we got quite a bit in return. Let's go onto the chart and cover that. Actually, let's get right over to it. Okay, so here you guys have it. The full trade was a 3.7 risk reward. We got over 300 pips, just about 300 pips. It's actually extended past that even more. But yeah, 80 to get 300, very good. So let's drop time frames. I've also included the trade right here on the chart. So let's drop time frames. This is the daily, and we're going to cover it in a little more detail. So here's the 4-hour. Okay, I think we're going to start on the 1-hour. I'm going to talk about the entry, and then I'm going to jump back to the 4-hour and talk about the thought process behind managing this. Okay, so let's go to the 1-hour real quick. Go to the original entry. Okay, right up here. Right at, as we saw, July 29th, as we just saw over here, right? July 29th, 808. That's this candle right here. This rejection candle, this one. So we saw this candle. There's a lot of rejection. This is a, what looks like could be an evening star. However, the volume's a little bit low. But more importantly, this is overextended price action, right? We had extended well into this zone. Price action was due for a pullback. Now, it was either going to reverse now or was going to continue to consolidate. But either way, it was showing some rejection, and we are very near a resistance level. So the likelihood of it pulling back to confirm that lower high above we broke resistance. Now we're testing as new support. We needed that higher low. If it was going to continue, that was, right? So we knew it was going to pull back. This was a good short. Even if it didn't play out, would have been break even. So we took the trade. What had happened from there, it started consolidating. It actually pushed up a little bit more, gave us another reversal signal, started consolidating, and then gave us a double top before dropping. So this was a little higher low that was established, nothing significant, but I drew a line here because this is showing what's broken, right? So we broke this minor structure, price actions headed to the downside. Then we started consolidating. So what was going on here? We could actually draw this zone over because this is kind of still related here as price action has been progressing. So we took the short, right? Price action dropped. As long as we're above resistance here, below resistance here, we were pretty confident in the trade, right? There wasn't really much risk to this turning around until we saw, a break back above this level. So just kind of flatlined. We're just waiting for it to do its thing, kind of waiting for it to break out of the range at this point over here. So the volume started to step in, which is good. We decided to hold. Let's readjust that. Decided to hold. The thing eventually broke, right? So we broke support, retested, got the lower high, and then we started doing something similar below this level now. So testing this level as resistance, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, nice little range here as well. So again, as the market's ranging, we're just going to wait until it, decides where it's going to go. If it breaks bullish out of the range, we'll consider closing what profit we have, or if it breaks lower, we're going to continue to manage. Okay, so we're in a really good position at this point. Even if even with this volume, still in a very good position. Okay, so we held through that. There actually was another entry opportunity on this. Right in here, there was a really great bearish variation that you could have taken entry on here as well. I actually ended up taking this one too. Didn't really put it out as a signal, but just showing you guys that this was a perfect trend to ride, right? It had a lot of movement. So there was an entry there. There was also another one over in here. Okay, but the whole point is, yeah, it's very much bearish. It's trending. There's tons and tons of sell signals, which again, when you see that too, that gives you more confidence to hold your trade and to ride it to its final level. So this is perfect. Ideally, what we wanted to see: lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs again. So this has been really, really good trade. Still playing out, right? I actually do have a nice 2-lot position still running on this. I reduced all my positions, took plenty of profit this week, but I'm going to let this one run and play it into another trade, because this looks like it could be doing exactly what it did, twice before, right? We're breaking below support. Now we're going to wait for it to drop a little bit lower. I really want to clear this zone, wait for it to pull back, and then maybe we could see something like this down here below this support level, testing it as new resistance, right? Very, very likely. So let's just do this one. Let's do this. Okay, so this is something, this is just using past price action patterns to kind of see what the potential is for this week, to give you guys some sort of visual. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to consolidate like this, but either way, this is the likelihood for this week, right? We'll just keep managing this trade. And the trade that we took all the way up here, we could find ourselves at an even lower point. So yeah, great trade out of the rapid signals. Turned out to be pretty good. Right, 3.7 to 1 risk to reward, risk 80 to get 300, and then some. So guys, there'll be more next week into signals. So we'll see you guys then. Let's get some more profit, more great trades going.
What is going on, everybody? So we're going to review 2 more trades that we're giving out in the rapid signals. We're going to cover GBPJPY first. So for those that have been hopping on the Sunday Market Blitz, you'll be able to see, us giving out most of these trade ideas. We had this GBPJPY signal given out all the way back on August 5th, so it was a swing trade. The stop loss was wide, so you can tell this is why, because it's a swing trade. If you're in the signals and you see wide stop losses, it's because the trade is meant to be a swing trade. It's taken on the 4-hour time frame. It's meant to go on for multiple days and reach, whatever the TP is that is set. So we're going to go over why exactly this trade was taken on GBPJPY. It was taken all the way back on August 5th, all the way back here. And I actually took this one live on the Sunday Market Blitz. So if you go back literally to August 5th, right around that day, you'll see this trade actually given out. So let's go over it on the weekly time frame. Right here, we can just bump up. We've got our 2 weekly levels placed. We've got our level of resistance. We've got our level of support. Down here, this is mainly what we look for on the weekly, and then we just go to price action. What was price action telling us at that time? So if we just go back right here, we could see that price had broken support, had that push down, and then we had the retest. We were moving back up into this resistance level right here, and you can see by the candles, the spinning top. So price is getting ready to reverse because it's not finding any volume to the upside. This was the hint that was telling us to have a short bias on this one. So 2 things we look for on the weekly is always going to be the weekly levels and then just the candlestick formation. And then down to the 4-hour time frame, this trade was taken definitely a bit premature. So this trade was definitely taken premature. And I say that because overall structure on the weekly time frame was very bearish, right? It was making lower lows and making lower highs. We can see here, lower high. Then we came down, made a little bit of a higher low, but ultimately that was broken. Came back up, made this next lower high. So just these large swings on the 4-hour time frame was telling us is in a bearish trend. And then this level had started to become respected once, twice, and then this was the 3rd time that it came into this level. That's why we were anticipating reversal. I took the trade up here, so basically right around this area. Price did go against us a little bit, and we can just pull it up, and we can see right here. So price did go against us a little bit. So it came down. This was great, good start. I shorted it based on these basically these wicks, I knew my stop loss was going to be up here, you know, right around 100 pips above the resistance level. So I started to short it right as we started to come up in the event that we started to turn over. But then price actually made it all the way back up to test the resistance level. So that was probably the point at which we wanted to get in on this trade, you know, for a better entry. And then we just started consolidating, so price started staying below. So at this point, I wouldn't exit the trade unless we actually broke the resistance level. So looking for something like this, and I would exit based on the retest. Because remember, before you enter the trade, I mean, you're basically accepting that you could potentially fail the trade, right? That's trading. So once this happened, price had that push down. At this point, we were solid. We were in the trade, and we were good to go. And then this thing started to turn into like a more traditional swing trade as it came down. That's when I marked our next level of support. So I was basically waiting to see how price reacted towards in this area, because if we check right here, we're already up 1-to-1. That's when I like to move my stop losses to break even. So we had come into this area right here. We were saying, okay, if price breaks this, we're going to look for the retest to potentially enter again. And then price never actually did make it to retest that level. You can see the arrow here, what we were planning. Never actually went to retest and then just moved lower. The final TP on this one was right around this area, so it ended up hitting the final TP. And again, we were just targeting this previous low right here if we look left. So that's GBPJPY pretty much in a nutshell. You can see this low tested multiple times. So we're always looking to target these low points, especially with these signals. So we can move this down to this area. And the reason why is because we are looking at, we zoom in a little bit more, we're looking at support all along this area, consolidation all along this area. So that's why this is the zone we are targeting to actually exit this trade. So that's GBPJPY. Let's get into next EURUSD. So this was another trade that was given out in the signals. This one was given out on August 2nd. So it was the same thing. It was a swing trade, ended up hitting take profit, a 2-to-1 risk reward. Swing trades were a little bit wider on this one. And if we just bump up to the weekly time frame, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go through time frame by time frame and see kind of what the deal is. On the weekly time frame, this is where we were. So we were right here, right? And we were between these two levels. So we were between this level of resistance, this level of support down here. Price found some support right there. And then at this point is when the price started to reverse. And we can see very clearly that price formed support here and broke it. And then this is when we were looking to retest this as resistance, because that's a huge resistance level. Price came into that area. As we can see, we started retesting the resistance right there. And I'm just going to come down to a lower time frame. I'm going to come down to the daily. So we started testing that level of resistance. This area was marked literally based on the support, broken, retest, and then coming down pretty much to the daily time frame. We started to see these reversal candles. So the spinning top candle is telling me, okay, price is finding resistance at this level. And because of how significant that weekly level is, you know, that's telling me that we are potentially getting ready for a sell. And then we pretty much had this very minor break of support right here. So we came up, made a higher low, pushed higher, came down, made a lower low, broke support, retest as resistance. This is pretty much where the trade was executed, right in this area. So right as it broke the resistance and retested it, that's when the trade was actually taken. And then as we can see, this thing turned into a swing trade. Let's actually zoom out a little bit more. This thing turned into a swing trade. At this point, we were up about 1.7, so stops are at break even. And then we came up for a retest of support right here. So we have this daily level of support right here that was retested. And that's all we're looking for on every single time frame with the swing trading strategy, is just breaks and retests of support or resistance, and we just go down time frames. Normally I'm on the 4-hour and the weekly when we are looking for trades, and if we just take these things off on the, we'll leave this weekly one on because that was a significant level, but we can clearly see on the 4-hour time frame that we are in a downtrend, forming these lows and lower highs over and over and over again. And then we have that push up. Now, the only reason normally I wouldn't want to get in on this because we broke this previous little push back and this lower high, right? We're retesting that level right there, this like significant level. But because of the fact that the weekly we're retesting resistance, that's what I like love to do. Breaks and retests on the weekly time frame. Those are always really good. We can see another example would be right here. We broke above, retested the support, and then pushed higher. So it's good to utilize that when you're in the middle of these like key levels. You can even see at this point, we broke the resistance on the weekly right here, pushed up, pushed up, pushed up, had a little pullback, higher low, pullback, higher low, and then what is this? Break, retest as a resistance, and then we had another support level to break, and then retest. So over and over and over again, those things are happening, but in the event that you spot it, you have to move on it because this is definitely a significant support level turning into resistance that you guys should take advantage of. So those are two signals given in the rapid signals. Again, EURUSD and GBPJPY. Most of the trades in there are the swing strategy, but there obviously are indices and everything else, energy. So there's a lot of oil trades going out there. The oil trades are really good. We're just going to go ahead and pull this up really quick so we can see a little update on the group. We're going to start to post the after pictures of the signals so you guys can know which ones have already hit the take profits. So we'll start to post the after ones in there, and we'll start to do these signal reviews so you guys can actually learn as well. But we've polled everyone, and from everything we've gathered, everyone simply wants the entry, stop loss, and take profit. They don't want random like all this analysis. They just want these signals. So we're gonna stick to that. And yeah, good month so far. Definitely a good week. This past week, tons of take profits being hit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.